you ever want to just pick up your guitar and play something that sounds cool, but also feels like real music and feels good to play? If that sounds like something you want to do, then you're going to want to learn to play fingerpicking styles. One of the greatest things about fingerpicking is even if you're just a beginner, there's a lot of things that you can play that sound cool right away. They sound advanced. It sounds like you've been playing for a long time. I'm going to show you some of that stuff when we watch this video from one of the best fingerpickers in the world. His name is Bruce Cockburn. So some of the things I'm going to show you here are going to be really advanced, but a lot of these things are going to be easy enough for even beginners to start to play around with and make it sound really good right away. Let's jump in and watch him play, and I'll teach you about it as we go. I just want to stop it for a moment to point out some things that I want you to look at. So look at his right hand thumb alternating between these two strings. Now sometimes he's going to also alternate and hit kind of like a little bitty chord here, but most of the time it's just in between these two strings. That gives the bass and the chord part of the music. The rest of the strings that he plays up here, that's where he's pulling out all these beautiful melodies. So let's take a look at how he's doing that. Watch that thumb, just alternating back and forth. Never stops. There's one of those advanced riffs. Now another thing that's a kind of a trick here, he is in an open tuning. This is called open C. This is kind of an unusual tuning. It sounds like this when you strum across. This is one of these things that it can be a little bit intimidating to get into, but if you just take a couple minutes and set your guitar up to play in this tuning, then you're gonna be fine. So here I have my guitar that's in standard tuning, but it's out of tune. So that doesn't really matter because we're gonna change the tuning of almost all the strings here. Grab your tuner and let's put it on. First step is let's lower this low string all the way down to the note C. It's pretty far. Now make sure if you're a beginner, go very slowly and don't go too much past this note. So you're gonna lower it from E down until it's D and then keep going, C sharp and then C, all the way down to C. Now the next string, the A string, we're gonna lower that down to G. So this is a pretty low tuning. Okay. The D string, we're gonna lower that down to C as well. Now the G string, we're actually gonna leave the same. The B string, this is very unusual. We're gonna actually take the B string and raise it up to C. Okay? And the E string we're leaving the same. Now once you've tuned the first time, you've got to check again. Every time we turn one of these tuners here, it adjusts the tension on the whole neck of the guitar. So you have to tune twice always. Now even though this sounds pretty good, let's just check one more time. So here we are, open C tuning. And don't worry, it's not gonna break your guitar, okay? Now that you've gotten in this tuning, just explore the sound of it by taking your right thumb, playing this low string, and then strumming up top. Meaning, what I mean by up top is these 4 high strings. From that point, you just have to memorize some cool places to play with your left hand. And the cool thing about these open tunings is a lot of times the shapes, the chord shapes that you play, they're easier than standard tuning shapes. I don't want you to think that just because it's an open tuning, it's advanced. Sometimes it actually makes things a lot easier, okay? Let's keep watching him play and see if we can pull out some of these cool riffs. So there, he's harmonizing memorize those spots, Those are the spots that he's playing around with. Let's learn these shapes. There's only 2. And then from here we have these 2 shapes. Now just follow the tabs on that. And if you want to download these tabs, you can join FJ members. So those are the notes that he's playing around with. Let's back it up and let's hear him do that again. So there's one extra spot that he's playing, and this is even easier. If you take the string set of the 2nd string and 4th string, since they're both the note C, there's only one shape. It's the same fret on both strings. So you can play something like this. So he's mixing in those 2 string sets. This first string set and this one. It's so fun once you kind of memorize those 2 spots. It gets you so much mileage. That's not all he's doing. Let's keep watching. Now this is a really interesting part. This is where he's going to what we call the 4 chord. And when you're playing in open tunings, the 4 chord is always located right here on the 5th fret. Now you can see he's playing with his thumb over the neck. You don't have to play that. You can play with your bar. You can just use a bar on the 5th fret here and then add these ornament notes. Where are the ornament notes? Well, the first one you should learn is this one. Don't hold your hand like this. I'm just doing this so you can see more easily. Hold your finger across like this, and then this is a beautiful chord. Play this melody note and go back to here, and this is going to resolve nicely back to the open strings. So notice how he's kind of separating these 2 parts. The one part where he's going like this with his thumb on the open strings, and he's adding these harmonies. And then also on the 2nd string. The second kind of sound, the second kind of chord sound that he has is over the 4 chord. And he always comes to this 5th fret here. So we'll watch his thumb in this 5th position. Left hand thumb is how he's playing that. Again, you don't have to do that. You can play it as a bar like that. Good angle of his thumb here. That was the 4 chord back to. Okay, so now this is definitely a new section, but before he went to that section, he kind of played an ending on the first section. So that's kind of the riff he's playing. Now he's playing around with this shape, that second shape I showed you where it's always the same fret. And he's playing around with that actually using this string set as well. Both of these strings are the note G, so again, we can use that same shape. So what he's doing, he's going. And it's kind of like, you can see how that's like an ending before he goes into the new section. Actually, I could hear the E string in there as well. He also does this interesting thing here where he doesn't do the boom chuck, the alternating thumb here, during that part, because then when he comes back to it, it enhances it. It's kind of a bridge section. Go into that 4 chord. And he repeats that. Notice at one point he's also doing this little strum like this with his right hand. Just different dynamics, different ways to keep it fresh and interesting as he's playing. But again, he's still adding those same notes. Some new harmony notes. That's really fun to play. This shape, that shape again, and then coming down to there. Again, follow the tabs on that so we can keep this moving along. And here he's going to this kind of G7 type chord, which is just, remember how we had this fingering? But for a moment now, instead of starting the strum here with his right hand thumb, he's starting on this. And then he plays this really cool riff. Some kind of riff like that. I'm gonna take a minute to figure it out. The cool thing about these open tunings is like, you just pull off to the open strings and it sounds like you're doing something really cool. So there, this is on this cool G7 chord, and then that's something I literally just made up the first try. Let's see what he does though. There's that 5 chord. So his was a little bit more advanced than mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's my riff. So I'm putting together this similar sounding riff here, taking this chord shape that we just had, the 2nd fret and 2nd fret here, and then to play this G7 chord like this, first finger down on the 1st fret. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna play this rhythm. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1, 2. Okay, so 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. So we just need 12 notes. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hammer on the 2nd fret of every string except for the 1st string. Hammer on and pull off. So let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1, 2. So see how I'm just kind of playing random strings, but I'm making sure that I'm always playing the 1st fret and the 2nd fret of the 1st fret of the 1st string, 2nd fret of every other string. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1, 2. Now in his riff, he added some cool slide-ins. Stuff like that. Remember, we can include those 2nd and 4th frets on both of those string sets we already talked about. Let's keep going. This is really fun. So now he's making things a lot more advanced. Thumb over the neck. So for those of you that can't do this thumb over the neck, why don't you try it like this? 1st finger across, like this. And then using just 1 finger, the pinky, again, going to that 4 chord, right? He's just using a bunch of cool variations. Back to that 4 chord. Big stretch there. So we did that part before. chord again. Back to the 1, to the 5. Really nice. Back to that 4 chord and that riff. So when we get to the end of this, I'm going to show you some cool things that you can do to play a sound-alike type thing. Some easier movements so you can compose a song that uses 3 parts in this tuning. Similar to his, but without all the extra fancy stuff. Let's keep trying. To the 5th position, 4 chord. Sounds like he's ending it here. Notice, you can tell he was ending it because he kind of slowed down slightly, just a little bit. So it's not like a huge slowdown, just a little bit indicates to the audience that you're about to finish. Also, the repeating of the elements at the end kind of lets people know that he's finishing up.
Thank you.
Very cool. Try it something like this. I'm just going to mess around with it real slow and talk about it as I go. So I'm going to start with here in the 1 chord. And now I'm going to just try an ascending melody going up the neck. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's go back down. Okay, I've been doing that for a little bit. Let's go to that 4 chord. Back to the 1. Let's repeat that. Okay, now we did that 4 chord twice and went back to the 1. It feels like it needs to change. Let's go to that 5 chord this time. To make it easy, let's go to the 7th fret. Back to the 1. Now let's do another variation of that. This time we'll do harmonies on the 2nd and 4th strings using that 2nd shape. So just again, start doing this. Now I felt like it was supposed to go to the 5 or the 4 chord there, back to the 1. Now we need to go to that 5 chord. Let's do the 5 chord in this position. And let's end it with a riff going back to the 1. And one of my favorite things to do in open tunings is that. The 12th fret harmonic, it sounds so cool up here, and you can't do this in standard tuning, at least not all the way across like that. Not this easily. Just take your finger and put it across that 12th fret. Strum across gently. Now remember, when you're doing harmonics, you don't want to press down at all. Very gently on that. So all the tabs that you've seen in this video, I'm going to include for download for FGA members. Fun community involved with that too. So check it out if you're interested. I'll see you all in the next one.